Okay. I think I should make my intro something like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My hair, my face, my skin is still a mess. Please subscribe. Yeah, because my hair and my face are still, my hair and my skin. My face isn't a mess. That's mean. Yeah, I just finished a therapy session on the phone and I discovered something about, this is really abstract, so I'm sorry if this is like alienating to new moms of very young babies. I didn't really start feeling this until recently. And it's kind of like a luxury to feel it when you're in the trenches of like feeding them every 2 hours and not getting enough sleep and like they cry and cry and cry. I don't think you really have this type of feeling. You don't like have the bandwidth for it. But what I'm feeling these days is like I have to make room psychically for my daughter, like, or get used to her. Like, it's this, the way I described it to my therapist is there's this part of my brain that can never like let go of being like preoccupied with her, whether I'm, at work and my husband's with her, watching her. I think at night I'm pretty good about turning it off, although I wasn't at first, which contributed to insomnia. And then I started taking melatonin, not medical advice, and I think my anxiety started to decrease and my body started to trust that I could sleep more than 4 hours at a time, without waking up to feed her once we eliminated her second night feed. But all the other times, other than at night, there's just this like gravitational pull to her that I can't 100% focus on the things that I'm doing anymore, because there's this part of my brain that's like, is she okay? Is she sleeping okay? Is she eating okay? Is my husband, who takes care of her when I'm doing work, I work from home, but when I have to step out and make my calls and do that dedicated type of work, is he overwhelmed with her? Is it too much for him? Are they both okay? Are they happy? Is she entertained? Is he overwhelmed? Like, just, I know the thoughts are very repetitive. So, yeah. And the part of me that doesn't feel normal, I don't know why I do air quotes in like every single video, but the part of me that doesn't feel normal is that part. And that part that's just always preoccupied with her, because before her, I didn't really have that. Even when I was pregnant, it was like a wistful preoccupation. It was more like, oh, like it would be thoughts about like, oh, I wonder what, I was so obsessed with like trying to know what her face would look like. We even went to one of those 4D things, ultrasound places. We went too late though. We went like in the third trimester. I think it's supposed to be better when you go in the second. So like we got a really bad image that was basically just like her face really like smushed and spread out, because there wasn't, at that point, she didn't have a ton of room in there. So it was more like worrying, the images that I saw. I was like, I've got like a really smushed looking baby. But back when I was pregnant and I used to, that part of my brain that she would occupy, it would be more stuff, either logistical stuff about appointments and needing to make a birth plan and all of that stuff, or it'd be like kind of wistful, daydreamy stuff, like what is she gonna look like, what is she gonna sound like, what is she gonna smell like I can't wait to hold her. And now that she's in the real world, it's not whimsical, it's real concerns about everything I just described. So My therapist suggested that this is like a very maternal response. And this might just be something that's always there now, that there's always going to be like maybe 20% or more of my brain that's just for my daughter. It's like dedicated to her, and no matter what I'm doing, where I am, who I'm with, that little piece always belongs to her. So, and if it's like anything with this whole parental journey, I guess at some point you just start to adapt to that. Like, it doesn't necessarily change, but you change. And that's part of the discomfort of all the growth. Is obviously it's demanding, but it's that abstract demand also, that like those invisible demands that we don't, or I don't think about. Like, I'll never, well, whatever. Right now, I'm not able to focus 100% on anything without thinking and like kind of worrying a little about her.